Okay, we're rolling.
Welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. I hope you're doing well. I say that all the time, but I really do mean it. I hope you're doing well. I had a podcasting friend, Sir Joshua Hess, podcaster extraordinary, new show. Oh, That's a Fact, is the name of his show. He sent me an email with another tool. This guy scours the internet and all the corners of the web for anything to do with podcasting. He is like a mad collector of podcasting knowledge, tools, advice, contacts, shows about podcasting. And the beautiful thing is he pops by our meetups, which makes us all happy. So excited to check out a new app that he's been playing with. And he's like, Dave, check it out. So I'm going to talk about it here on the show, explain it to you, and give you a little bit of what it said about one of my shows, episode 599, and give you my feedback on what I think of this little app. So Joshua, thank you. So in honor of Josh and his new podcast, Oh, That's a Fact, here's a little clip from the show, because, why not? Let's put it in here. And I'd love for everyone who follows this show, everybody who has ever pressed play on this podcast, anytime, now, in the future, in the past, to go over and check out Josh's show. Let's give him a lot of love. You know what we do here at How to Podcast Family. We take care of each other, right? So I encourage everybody, link in the show notes. You know how we do things. Go and pour some love on this amazing person, because he's just the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. Ever. So here's a little taste of Josh's show. Here we go. Josh, take it away.
Hello and welcome. I'm Joshua, host of Oh, That's a Fact, where I call BS on myths and give you brain-backed strategies that actually work. Whether this is your first episode or you've been with us since the beginning, I appreciate you listening. Just by being here, I can tell you have a curious mind and a desire to learn. I'm about to give the answer to the prior episode's quick Quizlet. You can either skip ahead 10 seconds when I tell you, or answer the question in your head. And don't worry if you missed it. If you listen to the very end of this episode, not only will you get a chance to answer the next quick Quizlet, but you'll also get a bonus habit hack. The time to stay or skip ahead 10 seconds is now.
So there you go, a little taste of Joshua's show. I added the clapping because I want to cheer him on. Good job, Joshua. Oh, That's a Fact in the show notes. Definitely go check it out. And love for you to go support another new podcaster. Yeah. Okay, so this is a tool that Joshua sent to me. And what I'll do is I'm actually going to read off the output from the tool as it evaluated my podcast, my episode of the How to Podcast series. So you can kind of get a sense of what it looks like. It's also in the show notes, so you can read along and have all that fun. So I'm going to include all this, and I love what this site is all about. So it's Wave Pod. It goes on the top of the screen on the left. The address for this website, links in the show notes, is pod.wave.co. And how it brands itself here on the website, it says it is 100% free by Wave, AI podcast summaries in your inbox. Subscribe to your favorite podcasts and get AI summaries in your inbox within minutes of release, faster than listening at 2x speed. Interesting. It says join thousands getting instant summaries at this point in recording, 259,436 episodes processed. It's free forever, no credit card, unsubscribe anytime. There's 3 steps. Pick your shows, browse trending podcasts, or search for your favorites, which is nice. We track thousands. Second, subscribe for free, 1 click to follow any show. We'll track new episodes automatically. And number 3, get instant summaries, receive AI summaries by email within minutes of an episode release. And they have a whole bunch of other podcasts you can look at as examples. And what's interesting is they show how many people are subscribing in the top right corner for each of the album artwork. How many people are subscribing to that specific show? This is interesting. There's a lot of big shows here and some small subscriber counts. So this is relatively new. And you can go in and get your own. So this is quite interesting. So I'm going to sign up now and kind of take you through the dashboard as a new user. So once you create an account, it takes you to a screen for you to pick whatever platform you want to use. If you're a Windows person, an Apple person, whether you want to use your phone, you want to use a desktop, gives you a whole variety of different things you can pick from. So I do most of my editing and most of my time on the computer. I'm very rarely on my phone doing any of that. So I went with the desktop for Windows. That's what I use. While I'm waiting for this to download, the one thing I'm a little bit questioning is, as when the AI tool pulls the information from my podcast episode, if it counts as a stat, an analytic, a download, a listen, however you want to word it, because it seems like it's bypassing us listening to podcasts. So the idea of creating my show is that it connects with humans. The fact that a bot is going in and pulling out all my information and giving a summary so that you don't have to listen to the episode kind of defeats the purpose of a podcast. So I'll be cautious about that. I'm going to do some more research on that as we go here, but that would be one of my only things at the beginning, is I make podcasts for people, not AI. So it's a bonus if an AI thing will pick it up like this will do, but my podcasts are made for people, so that's my main focus. So that's one thing I'm just thinking about in the moment. So I've downloaded it, installed it on my desktop, so I have it right on there, so I can use this anytime. It says I can use it for other things besides podcasts as well, and it'll give me summaries of things I do. So I do Zoom meetings, I do pre-calls, I do coaching calls, I do a ton of different things where I'd love to have like a summary or some key points that I can pull out from conversations I have with other people. It says on the website, too, that it's kind of like one of those bot AI note takers, except it's less intrusive. When I have people on my Zoom calls and their AI tool wants access and come in, and then they want to come in, the moment I accept their tool, it starts recording, and they come in the room going, "Oh, we're recording?" I'm like, "Yeah, your tool turned on the recording, not me." So yeah, anyways, I'm not a big fan of some of those Otter tools and stuff. They really seem to be intrusive and kind of annoying. So I usually, when somebody comes in the room and I see the AI tool wants to be let in, and I see the guest, I don't let the AI tool in. I've stopped letting them in. I only let the people in. So, because again, why be annoying? So anyways, so I have opened it up. It looks like a little notepad thing where you hit record. It gives you a chance to pick where you're picking from. So I can see my voice being picked up by Wave AI in a little window, and I'm recording this at the same time. So let's talk a little bit more. I want to go through, and I'll tell you what this says when we're done. I want to go through what Joshua sent me because this is really interesting. The feedback, it was episode 599 for the podcast that was captured. And Joshua ran it through here. And again, thank you, Joshua. I love when you find these tools and send them off. I appreciate it. So it gives me the title of the show, my name as the host, the date the episode went out, the main theme and purpose. And again, you can go listen to 599. I'd love for you to go back. It's a great episode about your bubble and all that fun stuff. The main theme and purpose of the episode, it says in this episode, Dave Campbell explores the complex relationship between freedom of speech, personal beliefs, and the concept of living in a bubble within the world of podcasting. He argues that while podcasting serves as a valuable last frontier for open and respectful discourse, it also brings significant responsibility for words and their consequences. Campbell, I've not been called Campbell often, but Campbell challenges podcasters to break out of their ideological bubbles, encourage diverse conversations, and approach content creation with mindfulness and care. Well, there you go. That was my intent. I'm glad that it picked up on that. It breaks down next to key discussion points and insights, and it lists these out. And what I love is it gives timestamps, too. So if you look in the notes for this episode, you'll see what I'm talking about. The first one was the unique power of podcasting to foster dialogue. Podcasting bridges divides. And then it pulls a quote from what I said in the audio podcast. A podcast is an open door into someone else's world. And that's at the timestamp 1 minute, 1 second. And then Dave emphasizes that podcasts allow hosts and listeners to engage with perspectives they would likely never encounter otherwise. Yep. And then the next one was safe space for respectful disagreement. And in quotes, we can agree to disagree, but there's always a healthy back and forth. There's no name calling. There's no hatred. There's no belittling of others in podcasting. And that's at the 2-minute and 13-second mark. Awesome. That's one thing I do with my clients is I'm always looking for quotes, like pulling quotable quotes out, making up graphics or whatever to post to social. This is really going to help. And then the second section, insight that it brings out, is the dangers of bubbles and echo chambers as well. Self-selection into ideological bubbles. People pick their bubble, and then they live inside their bubble. Only the people who think like them are allowed inside. And that's at 4-minute and 16 seconds. Content reflects the host's worldview. The group starts to sound like the host. Like, that's influence. And that's at 5-minute and 1 second. So we can see the timestamps are going along here. I won't read every one of these. See them in the notes. It also goes to the third section where the responsibility that comes with influence. It gives, again, more quotes and more timestamps. Number 4 is the mindfulness and accountability and content creation. These aren't from my show notes, by the way. I don't have these written out in this format. So it's not just grabbing my show notes. It's actually ingesting and pulling from the audio content. That's interesting. So there's more points there, more timestamps, which I appreciate. And then 5, the challenge to podcasters. Again, main points, timestamps, great. And 6, finding your own voice as a podcaster, main points, timestamps. And then it gives me another section here called notable quotes and memorable moments on bubbles and growth. And here's the quote. If you have a show, let's say it's a political show, and you only bring people on your political show who live in your bubble, who is the show for? ? That's at 13 minutes and 16 seconds. Interesting. Now, these aren't in numerical order because the next one's from 9 minutes and 28 seconds into the content. Here it pulls about my social media and responsibility part. There's a section about podcasting and influence, call to action, on finding your voice, community advice, on being a work in progress. And then the other thing I like at the end here, it talks about the key timestamps for key segments. So all the way from 37 seconds in, all the way to 23 minutes and 46 seconds. It breaks down the entire section. Those are really good. That's what I would put into my YouTube for sure. Exactly the way that is, because that's going to be really good for YouTube. It talks about the tone and language of my show. That's interesting. It says Dave maintains an open, humble, and conversational tone throughout. He stresses that his reflections are not meant to divide or preach, but to encourage thoughtful, kind, and constructive engagement within and beyond one's own worldview. Summary takeaways are also listed there as well. So there's a lot of great information here, a great snapshot of the episode. I hope, and I hope Joshua feels the same, I hope this isn't a replacement to actually going and listening to the show and interacting as a community member, because that defeats the purpose of a podcast. But if this is a tool that can pull this out of audio, not my show notes, out of the audio, wow, this is what we've been looking for. Because I didn't have to provide a transcript, and the service had to give it back to me. It did all this on its own. So I'm quite interested in this because there's a lot of things that I can use with the output of this beyond it simply being an email in my inbox. Something to think about. So I stopped the recording on the tool that was listening while I was just doing that whole big section for you to see what it gives me. And so that was running off to the side. And it's giving me my own version of everything that I just did there. So this should be interesting. So I'm going to open it up and let's see here what it gives me. So as expected, it did exactly what it did for the email that Joshua sent to me. It did for that little recording I just did with you. It summarized everything, broke it up in similar categories, did exactly what I talked about, even pulled out the YouTube comment that I made in addition to what I was reading to you. So very accurate. Same format, overview, main topics discussed, breaking them all out in sections, additional reflections and actionable insights, key dates and figures, a conclusion, and it did all of that. just listening to me talk to you. So if you want to get ahead of this, what my suggestion would be to use this free tool. I'm not paying for this. To use this free tool, turn this on if you're recording from your desktop and have it running while you're doing your thing. Because it's listening to you record your podcast. Right now I'm recording into Audacity. So I'm focused on Audacity, but minimized in the background was that note tool basically listening to me. And that would be the key foundation of my show notes, be the key foundation of my timestamps for YouTube. It could give me lots of great information and pull out all the quotable points that I would be having to go back and listen to later. I can just pull it right from the recording during the recording immediately. And again, this is free. So how long it's free, I don't know. But my gosh, what a great tool for a podcaster trying to do multiple things at the same time to save you money and to save you time. Wow, this is really good, Joshua. I'm glad you sent this to me. So going back to the main page for this at wave.co is the main page for this. I'll have links for everything for you in the notes. But wave.co, you can download this for your iPhone. You can download this for Android. Have a bunch of different people that are trusting this product and using this. It's interesting. Record, transcribe, and share. It's basically what it does. It's pretty straightforward. Catch every conversation, capture your online meetings, live discussions, and phone calls. We'll securely store them so that you can come back and take a look whenever you need them. Find everything. Wave accurately summarizes and privately stores your conversations, access to any word or sentence with the chat feature. So you can actually talk to the AI tool about your content. And Wave goes beyond note-taking. It includes smart tools like meeting integrations, background recording, and file imports built to make life easier, not just work. You can chat with Wave. It's got some high ratings for people who've downloaded, lots of reviews, and they have some simple pricing as well. They have pricing plans. They have a weekly plan, they have a monthly plan, and they have an annual plan. But there is a free trial for all of us to try out, and it takes you through all of the frequent questions. And Wave, catch every word is how they brand it. And it looks really interesting. So, Joshua, again, thank you so much for sending this over. I love all these new tools. I love listening and learning about these tools. And then when I find them, come share them with you. So, there you go. Wave.co is the main site for everything for Wave. And then going in, we can look at the podcasting one specifically at WavePod. And this is your AI. So that one is pod.wave.co is the one specific for podcasts. And I would definitely encourage you to go check it out. Use your phone, use your computer, whatever you got, and go try out pod.wave.co. Thanks to Joshua, by the way, for all this, because I had no idea about this at all. So Joshua is my reporter on the street. Thanks, Joshua. So what tools are you using to transcribe your show, turn them into show notes, get timestamps? Interested to hear what you're using. If you're not using wave.co, what tool you're using? Let me know at howtopodcast.ca, because Joshua's going to find another one probably this week. So I'll be back with more from Joshua. I'm trying to get him on the show, Joshua, so we can talk more about his journey as a podcast as well. And reach out, follow his show. I know he'd love for you to follow and give him a rating and a review and feedback. He's eager to grow as a podcaster. So anything we can do to help him, I think that's what we owe to each other, right? We're his family. We're not pod pals. We're family because we care for each other. We're not random. We're not transactional. We're family. We stick with each other, like episode 599, where I talk about getting out of your bubble. Even if sometimes we don't totally agree or see eye to eye, we're still got this thing in common called humanity and 2, podcasting. So let's support each other. Let's help each other grow our shows. And again, if you find a cool tool, let me know. Send me a message at howtopodcast.ca. Email me. Leave me a speak pipe. Come on the show. I'd love to have you on the show. So if WavePod is listening, hello, come on the show. Let's talk more about what you're doing and how you're doing it and your goals for the future. Again, WavePod at pod.wave.co in the show notes. And I'd love for you to go check it out. Give me your feedback. Let me know. Thanks for being here. Hey, it's Dave. Thank you for sticking around to the end. This is where we do our call to action, or pathway to engagement, as I like to call it. And here's what's interesting. I've been doing this podcast for years now, hosting meetups, helping podcasters, editing for people, doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And when we have people who follow the show reach out to me and say, Dave, guess what? I'm like, what? They said, I just hired my first consultant. I'm going to go work with them and help me with my podcast. And I kind of go, wait a minute. You what? They're like, yeah, I found a podcast consultant and they're going to help me with my show. It's hard to pretend to be happy. Why? Because I want to work with you. Wait a minute. Like, Dave, the guy, Dave, who's been doing the How to Podcast series and 8 other podcasts, and the guy that's been with you the whole time, and we've done meetups, we've done time together, we've spent time together, and you've hired somebody else. Now, maybe I'm not your person. That's okay. I'm totally fine with that, by the way. Keep coming back. I love having you here. But if you're like, well, I didn't hire you because you don't have anything like that, do you? And I do. And I have been for a long time. And I don't talk about it enough, apparently, because people are going to other people looking for things that Dave does. So, in the spirit of Dave, and in the spirit of making better connections with you, I do have personal coaching in podcasting. I have podcast community. I have all of the resources. I have all of the background, the history in podcasting, and the love for you as a fellow podcaster. If you're looking for a podcast coach, somebody who can walk with you, somebody who cares about you, someone who is your challenger, your cheerleader, and your coach. Because even though I've said on the show you can't be all three, I think I am. And I want to help you. So, howtopodcast.ca. Please, before you go searching anywhere else, come to where we started and where we met first, right here. I'd love to help you. Howtopodcast.ca. Come reach out to me. I want to talk to you. Thanks. Okay, so you're still here. I love it. That's great. This is extra bonus stuff for people who stick around, people just like you. So everybody else is gone. They have no idea what we're talking about. So we can talk about anything we want. My question from a podcaster recently was around the idea of how to deal with ghosting, like ghosts. You're like, okay, this is a haunted podcast? What is this? What are we doing, Dave? Dealing with people who ghost you. I have several file folders full of people who have ghosted this show and other shows. They've come through the process. They've reached out to me. There's contact information, and then they just disappear. Now, it can be frustrating to invest time in somebody who just walks away and leaves you sitting there by yourself. That's a bad date, right? That's not a good experience. Those are the ones you tend to remember most. You tend to forget the great, and you always remember the worst. So I've had some pretty bad experiences over the last 6-7 years with people who they're just not good at follow-up. They're not good at showing up. And I sit here and I wait for them to come to a recording or a pre-chat. Remember, I work nights, so I'm saying no to sleep, to sit on my computer and be ready for you. And when you don't show up because it's inconvenient or you forgot, my mind is flashing back with tons of people. Most people from their car for some reason. I don't know. That's an indicator, I think, a common trait for people who don't show up. People tend to show up in their car. Anyways, when people ghost you, I try to always be thoughtful of the person because I don't know what's happening in their world. Anything could have happened, right? I don't want to think negative and think of the worst case scenario, but at the same time, I don't want to just be upset with them. And just spout off at them and be angry with them, because I, at the same time, have done it to other people. Again, because I work nights. I set my alarm clock for like 11 a.m. because I just got home at 7 a.m. and I sleep through it. I wake up at 2 in the afternoon and go, oh, my heart sinks. I go to my email. It's like, where are you? And some other words. I'm like, you're supposed to be here. And I'm like, I know. But I slept through, and it's because I worked all night, and I tried. I really did. And I kicked myself. And I always kind of put myself into the place of my potential guest. They might be kicking themselves because they messed up and they feel guilty. They just leave. They just hide because they feel like they disappointed me because they didn't show up or whatever. And I just kind of always lean towards the best possible solution. I do reach out. I send emails. I contact them. Hey, looks like we missed each other. Apologies for that if it was on my end. But can we, here's my calendar link. Let's meet again when you have time. Still would love to have you on the show. I appreciate what you do and that you have time for me in your busy day. Let me know if we can get together in the future. Happy to do this. Take care. Hope to talk soon. Something like that. Always lean to the positive. If you become focused on the negative, it's going to eat you up over time, and you're going to be a little bit more cautious around people, and you're going to miss opportunities because you're a little bit too jaded. So don't be jaded. Be kind. In everything we do, be kind. That's what Bill Monty would say from his podcast over there, Tales from South Florida, and all those great podcasts he does. It's so good. Bill Monty's Guide for Getting Older and all kinds of good stuff. He's a good guy. Go check him out. But he always talks about at the end of his show, be kind. And I think as podcasters, we can just be kind. Be Bill Monty, everybody. Be kind. There you go. Take care.